Greetings, NBA fans. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson, and seated beside me, Kenny the Jet Smith, and the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, we'll see the Oklahoma City Thunder playing against the New York Knicks. A good roll continuing right now for the Knicks. They're a team that no one wants to face right now, with just one loss in the last 10 games. They'll be tough to beat. And an extra minute here. Shaq, one of the most exciting moves to watch in basketball, a slashing drive to the rim. Who would you say are the league's best slashers?
I'm going to be quick because I'm not really a guard. I know Kenny probably has a couple things to say. Let me go with Russell Westbrook, freak athlete, attack mentally. Monte Ellis, elite quickness, terrific touch around the rim. James Harden, strength, aggressiveness, ability to draw contact. Tyreek Evans, that's his whole game.
Wow. I thought you weren't going to – how'd you come up that quickly with those guys?
Because I'm trying to give you time to talk, baby.
Man, so I'm going to slow it down. I would say, man, league MVPs, obviously, Durant and LeBron. You know, those guys, with their mobility and height, you know, LeBron James is like a bullet train, so it's almost impossible to stop him. So I'll end it there, man. But that was quick. Russell, who'd you say? Who'd you say?
Russell Westbrook, Monte Ellis, James Harden, and Tyreek Evans.
Wow.
Huh.
It's impressive.
Quite the list. Thanks for joining us.
How did he act like he knew the question you were asking?
We go courtside with Kevin Harlan for the call. Somebody was feeding him the answers.
It's a road game for the Knicks, and they're facing an interconference foe today. Sit back and enjoy this presentation of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony, and on the sideline tonight, Doris Burke. Taking a look at Oklahoma City. Looking at their performance last year, they're about where you'd expect them to be, guys. They'd like to take that next step in a positive direction here, Steve, with a win.
And when I look at Oklahoma City, they haven't packed any big surprises into the early part of this season. They're right in the middle of the NBA's pecking order.
Yeah, but I see a team with a chance to make some major noise as the season progresses. It's just a matter of unlocking that potential amongst the players.
We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. On the court for the Knicks, you've got Kyle O'Quinn. Porzingis is out there with Anthony. Then there's Aflalo, and it's Galloway in at the point guard. Durant, foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. One thing about Kevin Durant, when you talk with him, he's got such a laid-back demeanor. I mean, his pulse doesn't quicken. And when you ask opponents, they'll tell you he is as competitive, Greg, as they come.
Yeah, what you see on the outside with Kevin is a mirage, a fake out, if you will, because on the inside, this guy burns with competitive fire and brimstone.
No good on the second free throw.
And with Durant, his competitive spirit really comes out in crunch time. He demands the ball when the game's on the line, and more often than not, he gets it and delivers.
Shot on the way. They get it again. And Westbrook gets it to go. Westbrook's got his first points of the game.
His hard work on the backboard really just has given them more opportunities to score.
Anthony kicks to Galloway. Here's Porzingis, and the rejection by Ibaka. Westbrook with it. 14 points from him the last game against New Orleans. Good.
And guys, talking about Durant, he may not wear it on his sleeve, but he's really upped his energy and emotion on the defensive end. I mean, he's seen that defense wins championships, and that's the only thing on his mind right now.
They get it again. O'Quinn, the shot goes in. First of the night. He's 1 for 3 to start the game.
And boy, did they need that one. Their first make in the 5 field goal attempts they've had.
Ibaka with the screen on Anthony. Durant, the pass to Ibaka. Robertson dishes to Adams. It's deflected. Durant, that's good.
you know, he'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. I mean, you just don't know how to play him.
Galloway kicks to Afflalo. Anthony drives in. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line to try to make it a three-point play.
Shot's good. Yeah, strong move to the basket there. Nice power to get that up and in.
And Oklahoma City going with a whole new group out there. The Knicks also changing it up. Kevin Serafin, he's checked in for Kyle O'Quinn. Derek Williams comes in for Porzingis. And it's Calderon in for Aaron Afflalo.
You know, for Carmelo last season, it was Murphy's Law. What could go wrong did go wrong. After signing Melo to a max deal, the Knicks management expected a bunch from him. But with the new offense and a bad knee, it didn't happen.
Knicks have gone 2 of 6 from the field. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Guys, Derek Fisher had a few moments to share with me. He told me it's a fun challenge trying to slow down a team that's so cagey and opportunistic offensively. He said, of course we've done our scouting, but this is the first time we've seen them firsthand this season. So it'll be interesting to see if we can take them out of their sets and slow them down at that end. Guys, they'll have to be solid defensively. Back to you.
Thanks, Doris. So keeping the opposing shooters in check, guys, they're making that a very high priority right now.
I think that's smart. I mean, you have to identify what your opponent's strengths are, and he's done it correctly.
Yeah, I think so, too. I mean, if you let their shooters get even a tad comfortable, you're playing with major fire there.
Lewis Amundsen, he's checked in for Carmelo Anthony. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. Last season ended with the Knicks pretty much packing it in, but Clark, it didn't start out that way.
You know what? Not at all. I mean, the Knicks were picked by many, Kevin, to be a playoff team last season. Clearly, things did not go as planned.
And it became clear, thinking about the Knicks again, I mean, it made sense for a team with injuries and being in disarray on the floor to just battle for that lottery.
And he misses the second one as well, so he is 0 for 2 that time.
You know, kind of packing it in for the sake of being better in the future can possibly work in New York for a year or two, but not longer than that. The media will eat you up there if you don't start making some progress towards winning, pleasing basketball. And that almost feels like 2 buckets coming off the steal like it did.
And especially the fact that it now ties the game. The lead was about to be stretched out, and instead, it's back even.
Now here is Augustine. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Nice shot by Singler.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Galloway, the pass to Serafin. The fader. And again, it's New York.
Really nice way to get your first bucket of the day.
Here's Augustine. No good trying to beat the buzzer. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. Thunder lead by 1. And the second quarter will be on the way when we come back. Before the game, Carmelo Anthony talked about how he prepares himself mentally to carry this team. Well, you don't hear too many players, Greg, saying it's easy and they're not too concerned.
Yeah, or talking about possibly winning basketball games. But I have a feeling he's more concerned than he talks about, and when he says it's easy. It may be for him, but it sure didn't look easy for the Knicks last season.
And so far, it's been a closely contested game as we get the second quarter up and going. And for the Thunder guys, what stands out to you so far?
And we've really seen them get out and establish a real nice rhythm offensively in this game.
Yeah, and they're finding ways to score multiple ways, playing well and sharing the ball. Just operating good at the offensive end.
Down low, it's the international combo of Ibaka and Adams. Westbrook the point with Waiters at the 2. And it's Durant in at the small forward. That's the lineup out there for the Thunder. Clock at 4. Elbow shot. Dives for it. And it's out of bounds. Oklahoma City able to retain possession here. And here is our 2K leaderboard. These teams have been on fire over the course of the past 10 games. Number 1, the Thunder. Number 5, the Knicks.
I mean, this is about hot shooting for both these teams recently. Two teams playing with tremendous confidence. This sure makes for an exciting matchup.
There's the screen. Adams outside. Left side, Westbrook. And stolen by Afflalo. No good. Good work defensively by Ibaka. Oklahoma City trailing. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
And for all the flash and dash in Oklahoma City over the past few years, Serge Ibaka silently goes about his business. While all eyes are on the megastars, Durant and Westbrook, Ibaka lurks around like a jaguar. I mean, finding opportunities to exploit any weakness in the opposition.
The first one falls. Talking about Ibaka, he does so many things that help his team. The little things that always make a difference, even with his superb free throw shooting. Up to a remarkable, Clark, 84% last year.
Yeah, but, you know, Ibaka had an injury of his own. As much as people talked about Durant's injury, the knee soreness Ibaka had cost him 18 games last year, so that was tough for him.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
And for long stretches of the season, the Thunder, they had a short bench early on due to injury and just having a short rotation. They did change things up, though, as they went through that regular season. And, you know, that's an example of how many plays we have in a game for which there's no stat. A monster dunk coming off just a terrific pick play.
Greg, you're right. It really did work to perfection. Gave him all the room he needed for the flush.
Boy, that's a sound physical play. I mean, can't be afraid to put a shoulder into somebody every once in a while. It's a contact sport, folks.
And Afflalo kicks to Anthony. And he drops it in from the low post. Anthony's got 4 points now in the quarter. And a moment here to take a look at some of the hustle stats for the Knicks.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnovers.
Well, for the Thunder, Greg, you're talking about, they did have to go to their bench more and more. And Clark, as the season wore on, their bench players are playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah, actually, they ended up in the top 10 in bench minutes played. The trades they made at the deadline helped bring depth to the team, and they took advantage of it.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Derek Fisher had some words for his team over that last break. He told the team he wanted their offense to run through Carmelo Anthony. Coach is calling on him to play a big role in the offense for the rest of this game, to really be one of the key guys for them down the stretch. They're not going to wait for halftime. They want those adjustments to have an impact right away. Over to you, Kevin.
And as always, Doris, thank you. Shot clock at 5. Here's Durant. Breaks a big high bounce and goes in. Durant's got his second basket of the night.
Boy, Durant showing us how it's done with that stroke.
And Afflalo kicks to Anthony. New York moving it around. Quinn in the post. He's against Cantor. Porzingis can't hit.
Oh, you've got to be able to deliver when you get a bunny like that. That's just too easy of a shot to miss.
Feeds it to Robertson. He tries for 3. They get the rebound. Collison misses that one. He's 0 for 1 from the floor. The Knicks leading by 3. Anthony, the pass to Porzingis. Anthony against Durant. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
I mean, he was great in his last game, Clark, and clearly he has not lost that love and feeling.
A different look for Oklahoma City, Kyle Singler comes in for Kevin Durant. And Dion Waiters subbed in for Andre Robertson. And then for New York, Kevin Seraphin is checked in for Kyle O'Quinn. And Derek Williams subbed in for Porzingis.
And right before Carmelo went down with the injury last season, it seemed like he had added the fadeaway to his game, molded a little bit after Dirk Nowitzki.
Now here is Augustine. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. Pass to Collison. Singler outside. A three-pointer is right on target. There's 14 seconds left in the first half. There's Galloway. Outside Anthony. That's good, and so Galloway with the assist. 14 points for Carmelo Anthony.
Kevin, he's definitely making his presence felt here in the first half. He's been very effective so far.
And we're through the first half of basketball here, and what's been a good one. Knicks out front, up 5. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Carmelo, some great numbers for you and great play on and off the basketball tonight. Is your strategy any different?
It's the same thing. Try to move without the ball, play without the ball, space the court, attack when I get the ball, be aggressive and find people when they open.
Carmelo, thank you, guys. You've got to be aware wherever he is on the basketball floor.
Thank you, Doris, and we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you to the halftime show on 2K Sports. A stellar first half for Carmelo Anthony. He had 14 points and 1 steal. It's really great to see him back to what appears to be top form coming off the injury. There's a sense of reassurance that he's healthy after the first 2 quarters back. Taking a look at the Knicks, Kenny, what'd you think?
Well, they called the right plays, and then they executed them. Great job in the first half. That's why they were so efficient, and they shot so accurately. The defense threw a number of different looks at them, but they were always prepared because they were cool, calm, and efficient.
And big fella, let's get your thoughts on the Thunder.
They're shooting way too much from the mid-range and the outside. The offense lacks dimension, and that could really hurt them in the second half, Ronnie. I like to see their bigs get down and dirty. They got to play way tougher.
That wraps it up for halftime as the game is just about to get going again in the third quarter. We will see you later.
The third quarter now beginning. Both sides looking to pull away in the last half of the game.
Melo having a terrific game. He's got 14 points, and he was able to come up with 1 steal, too.
You know what? He's been a difference maker defensively today, Clark. He's disrupted more plays than the stat sheet will show. I mean, the Knicks were bad last year, and it became evident early on as the season grew older, more and more of their national coverage games were being pulled.
And on the floor for Derek Fisher as we get into the second half, we've got Anthony. Kyle O'Quinn out there with Porzingis. Then there's a Flalo, and it's Galloway in at the point guard position. And it's Durant missing.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
For the Knicks, losing a lot of nationally televised games, too. It seemed like every time they were on, they were losing. It might have been a blessing in disguise.
Well, I hope they look at it in a positive vein. It did give them a chance to focus on player development there in New York. Also allowed them to shut down Melo for the season.
Galloway kicks to Anthony. And about a minute of action so far in the third quarter. Shoots off the screen. Galloway with the bucket. And the Knicks lead by 5.
That was an outstanding pick that gave him the room to bury the jump shot. Underrated, but not undervalued.
Well, it was a season last year of heartbreak and change for the Thunder, narrowly missing the playoffs as the Pelicans beat them out for that 8th position.
Yeah, and they were teetering back and forth on that 8th spot for most of the year. Ultimately, they just couldn't hold on to that final playoff spot.
Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. You look at San Antonio, they've got the #1 record in the conference, and because of it, each night out, their competition is going to bring it right at them. And, of course, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they find themselves in the 8th spot.
And when I look at Oklahoma City, they've basically lived up to the expectations so far this season, and that's not really good news for their fan base because those expectations only had them on the brink of the playoffs.
Yeah, which is exactly where they are right now. It's not too late for them to make that kind of emphatic late push that turns a season from average to excellent, though.
And here now the Thunder. Calderon unable to get his shot to go. And that one's good. 9 points for Kevin Durant.
A great assist. Nice work from Russell Westbrook.
And guys, you talk about players who have that killer instinct. Russell Westbrook is right at the top of that list.
There's Galloway. Shot clock at 6. He dishes it to Carmelo. Too long in the paint, and he's hit with a 3-second violation. And you think, Greg, about Westbrook's killer instincts. You were alluding to that. It's very apparent at times. Players praise, and Clark, I think, fear him for just that characteristic alone.
Well, how about this, Kevin? Kobe Bryant said Westbrook has the same love for competition that he has. Whenever other guards are pulled, Westbrook is their worst matchup.
So is Amundsen. He's checked in for Kyle O'Quinn. Two minutes into the second half of play now. There's a good screen. Galloway kicks to Calderon. Puts it up from 12. And no good as it rattles out.
I'll tell you what, for what's really an elementary shot, he looked a little nervous on that release.
Outside Westbrook. He kicks it to Adams. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
You got to love the big bucket in the paint in this sort of grinded out physical game.
That's the kind of look they can continue to go with. Maybe that'll help them create some separation on the scoreboard.
There's Galloway to the inside. From 10 feet out, Amundsen can't hit. The Thunder have gone 3 of 5 to start the second half, developing a nice rhythm out there. Well, nobody said, Greg, being in the NBA was for the faint of heart. The Knicks in a few short years have gone from a playoff team, unfortunately, to the worst team in the NBA.
Hard to fathom, Kevin, that the Knicks did enter last season with playoff aspirations, but that quickly vanished. They were just completely overmatched and overwhelmed.
OKC, make some noise for your Thunder Girls.
With the pause in the action, let's bring you the list of teams that have been lighting it up over the last 10 games. Second, the Thunder.
Well, this is only a trend over a few games out of a very, very long season. But the coach has got to be pleased that his team has been able to score big with some consistency.
Looking at who's out there now for the Thunder. Cantor checked in for Steven Adams. Kyle Singler comes in for Serge Ibaka. Waiters, he's checked in for Andre Robertson. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Russell Westbrook. There's Galloway. And good on the basket. Book it. Galloway has got 4 this quarter. Well, Thunder have gone 4 of 6 from the field since the start of the third. Waiters on the wing. Here's the screen. Here's Durant. And there's another one for the Thunder. Third quarter of basketball here in just a little under 3.5 minutes gone by. Calderon kicks to Galloway. Elbow shot is on the way. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Cantor. Aaron Aflalo. He's checked in for the Knicks.
Aaron Aflalo.
Williams in the post. He's covered by Singler. And out of bounds as the Thunder gain possession.
That's a major mental mistake. I mean, there's no other way for me to describe it. He didn't know where he was on the court. That's a basic fundamental. You have to be alert to where you are.
I'd like to see him use a little clock here.
I agree with you. Milk the clock with this possession. That's what they've got to be doing.
On the wing, Singler for the lead. Afflalo pulls it in. Third quarter comes to a close, and a battle brings it to a tie. And after a quick break, we're going to come right back with the start of the fourth quarter. And we're set to start the action up here in the fourth quarter. And if it's anything like the first three, we should be in for a treat. The Thunder shooting 52% from the floor. Nice work so far from them. Durant the 3 and Ibaka the 4. Westbrook the point with Waiters at the 2. And it's Cantor in at the pivot, manning the middle. That's the lineup out there for the Thunder.
And really, at this stage of the game, to get those kinds of offensive rebounds for putbacks, you almost feel like it's a 4-point swing.
Here's Galloway. Afflalo outside. Dishes to Williams. Shot clock at 5. The drive by Anthony. That drops. Anthony's got the game tied up here for the Knicks.
Big time bucket there, and you can expect to see him stay very involved the rest of the way.
Left side, Westbrook. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
And who could forget the tear that Westbrook went on last season? I mean, after the All-Star break, it was just triple-double after triple-double for him.
Greg, for Westbrook, as you were talking about him, the triple-double stretch included 4 in a row. He had 6 triple-doubles, Clark, in 8 games. He was sensational.
Yeah, it really was, Kevin. And what's even more amazing was that he was very close to a triple-double, even on the nights he didn't get one. Man, he's a guy who showed you what it means to carry a team.
Andre Robertson, he's checked in for Oklahoma City. Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for the Knicks. Porzingis comes in for Derek Williams.
Yeah, disappointing not to convert all of them, but he did get the one to give them the lead.
Durant against Anthony. Back to Afflalo. From 11 feet away. Great D that time from Durant. The Thunder with the lead. Westbrook kicks to Robertson. We're just over a minute and a half now into the fourth. The wide open look for Durant. That one is good again. He's 6 for 8 from the floor with the basket.
The defense got butterflies the second that shot went up because they know he typically delivers in the clutch.
Here's Anthony. Drops in the layup for 2.
I mean, already hot coming into the game. Is it fair to say he's hotter?
The Thunder have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. Screen by Ibaka. Kicks it to Robertson. It's hauled in by Porzingis. They have not led for a while. A chance to do so here.
Boy, they'd love to retake the lead right now.
And Anthony gets it to go. Well, as we move into the fourth, it's been an even game.
Yeah, it has been. Neither team able to create any significant separation so far.
Guys, teams have exchanged the lead 5 times thus far. Yeah, it looks like he saw some things out there that need to be adjusted. And he's going to take a break here and talk it over.
Hey, you know, coaches sometimes need a break in the action to rethink and retool a bit. Anytime you're in that situation, it makes sense to use the timeout.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, over that last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Billy Donovan said to the team. He said, guys, for a team with our firepower, we're playing way too tight. We need to push the ball up the floor, get out in transition, and get those easy baskets. We can do this.
A minute 42 left in the fourth. Kept alive.
Good pick, but he just couldn't make it count.
Yeah, nice job of setting the screen by his teammate there. And I'm sure he appreciated it.
Now, here's O'Quinn. No good.
Well, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
Outside Westbrook. Drops it in from 11 feet. Game winding down, and they just keep changing leads.
Absolutely. I mean, 6 lead changes here so far.
Exciting stuff.
And, guys, no separation yet, and I really don't think we're going to see any all the way down.
.114 left in the fourth quarter. Anthony dishes to O'Quinn. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. He hits the first one, and that ties the game up. And so making both free throws, that'll give them the lead here.
Clutch free throws there, fellas. This one's a barn burner. Tight as me in an airport laboratory.
Outside Westbrook, screened by Ibaka. Here's Roberson. He's guarded by Aflalo. Roberson, the pass to Ibaka. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Westbrook. But they recover it. Game could be on the line right here.
It's basically now or never for them.
A tough position. The drive by Anthony. Buries it.
Just a fantastic effort they're getting from Anthony right now.
30 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Still a chance here, but they need to score.
I really agree, but it has to happen on every possession. They need points every trip.
With some arc, Westbrook no good.
And that's the way you want to defend. Nice job there.
Always important to have that good interior defense.
Yeah, you can't let them hold the ball and just milk those last seconds away.
No, you got to foul. I mean, it's going to come down to free throws here. Foul right away.
Gets the first, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 5-point game.
And those free throws will mean a ton now. It makes it a 2-possession game.
15 seconds left in the fourth quarter. For three, Durant. And Galloway pulls it down. And now they decide to foul intentionally.
Kevin Durant. That's his second personal foul. Shooting for Oklahoma City, Langston Galloway. Taking 2 shots.
Okay, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
Good on the first, and that increases their lead to 6. And so he drops them both. It's a 7-point game. There's the pass to Roberson. From deep. Misses. So it's New York picking up the win. This was a hard-fought, well-earned victory for them, Greg. They really had to work for this win.
That's a good point. I mean, weaker teams might have buckled at the end with the crowd amped up, everyone in the building kind of rooting against you, but they stood tall and pulled it out.
Well said. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, gentlemen, I'm here with Carmelo Anthony. And Melo, first off, congratulations on this win. How would you describe the team's effort here tonight?
We willed our way to this one. We took our time, executed, we stayed composed, and that's something we've been doing, the past 2 games, just keeping our composure and just finishing games. We've been doing that.
This team is playing great, Melo. Thanks for your time. Guys, over to you.
Doris, thank you as always. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our entire 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. And now to our good friend Ernie Johnson, who is standing by in the studio.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Kevin, much appreciated. And now let's present our Jordan player of the game, Carmelo Anthony. Talk about lighting it up in the second quarter. My word, that was just huge. And the impact carried them through the entire game.
His accuracy from the field was pretty eye-catching. I mean, if he was shooting the ball, it was going in. You rarely see a performance like this with this crazy high shooting percentage. Wow.
We've seen so many performances like that over the course of Carmelo Anthony's career that we've gotten spoiled. But we shouldn't fail to appreciate what he has been able to do tonight. He was spectacular. When he doesn't try to do too much, Carmelo Anthony is absolutely lethal. And he had it going tonight.
And that brings us to the end of our broadcast for this evening. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson saying good night. And we'll see you again soon, but not soon enough.